Welcome back to the Spa Business Mastery podcast. And today is one of those days with our Director of Marketing, Delia. And we want to talk about spa marketing for you because that's a hot topic when it comes to spa business. Wouldn't you agree, Delia?
Absolutely, it is. Everybody wants to know the secret sauce.
Yeah. And although there are situations where marketing should not be your first thing to work on your business, it's always going to be one of those tasks that it has to be part of your action steps, whether you're ready for it or not. So today we want to talk about how to create 12 months of sanity-saving marketing strategy in particular, because we see this all the time with spa owners, that most of the time their marketing is done fairly on the fly. Some of you have social media managers that are actually doing the work for you, like doing your feed design and your captions and posting and all that kind of thing. But we also see some friction of between owners and social media or digital marketing in general, where they are the bottleneck because they have to come up with the strategy. Your social media manager, typically, most of them don't. You need to come with your strategy. So we totally get how coming up with a monthly strategy, 12 months a year, can make you feel kind of crazy.
A little bit, because there's a lot of moving pieces when it comes to marketing, and so this is so you can not lose your mind.
And basically, we know this really, really, really well in terms of sanity-saving marketing approaches, because we run, how many social media accounts do we run for spas? I think we're at 6 around there. So if we did not have a system for creating strategy, because we actually create the strategy for our clients, if we didn't have a system for creating strategy and we were just relying on our spa clients for providing strategy, it would be crazy making for us to try to implement everything. So we're taking what we know and our own process that Delia and our team literally do every single month and sharing it with you so that you can stop feeling so crazy yourself.
It's like, it's like Groundhog Day, but like at a month at a time. So it's Groundhog Month. So when it's all done, we start over again, but it works and it helps keep us sane because, not only are we doing, we've got 6 social media clients, marketing clients, we are busy with a bunch of other stuff as well. So having those strategies and just, everything in place really is a saver for us, for our own organization and for our clients. And it just makes everything feel, I don't know, like it just makes it feel calm. It's not crazy making like
nice and smooth. There's no surprises. So we want to share those, this approach with you. All right. So the first thing we want you to understand that when it comes to creating your marketing, there's actually 2 main phases. And those are the strategy phase and then the implementation phase. Don't think that you can do both in one sitting. That's the first crazy making expectation of yourself, right?
Yes.
So, and then so for the first part is batching your strategy, your monthly strategy. And then that second part of it is batching your implementation. And your implementation will be like, it'll be broken down into multiple platforms depending on what you're doing. So it'll be social media. So you're gonna have to batch your social media, then batch your email marketing, then batch your blog, and all those kinds of things. So when it really comes down to it, marketing is hard. It's a lot. So don't make it so hard on yourself. So Delia, why don't you get started on phase 1 here?
Sure. Yeah.
Strategy.
So what we do know from experience and proof is that a strong marketing strategy always comes with batching it out. So what you want to do is you want to be batching out your content monthly. So like I said, don't make it so hard. It's a lot of work. You aren't going to get it all done in one sitting. So work on it, monthly at a time. And the best way to do that is to set some time aside to develop those ideas and your action plans to be able to implement it.
And actually put it in your calendar. Time block this out. If you just don't do this in between clients, Big
You know
mistake.
what, yeah, you know what it's
You're
like.
context switching all the time, like between clients. You can't get into it. Give yourself a good block of a couple of hours once a month.
Yeah, it's really, really, really hard. You know, and when I was in my spa business as well, we know what it's like as spa owners. We are everywhere. And so I know it's really hard when you're jumping from, okay, you have to go talk to a client, you have to take a service, or you're dealing with, you know, other things, but you're also trying to work on, you know, kind of this like strategy in your mind. And that if you are bouncing, it's just it, you know, sometimes it's like 20 minutes to get back into it, just to get your mind back into where you were. So having that time set aside without any interruptions and knowing that you can just focus on it is ideal and key to be able to get it done properly, so that you can feel confident that you've, you know, got a solid plan here. And so like we said, we do this with all of our digital marketing clients. And you know, if we didn't do it, then we would just go crazy, because we'd have random ideas popping up left, right, and center. And we
Well, and sometimes that happens. Like we've had it, we've actually had to kind of contain our clients where, and especially if they're new with working with us and not quite, you know, in the system that we've got rolling, they'll kind of fire out, hey, I want to, you know, even though their email is ready to go and it's all been approved, there might be a, hey, I want to, can we add this or can you add that? And
yeah,
it's a no, not for this one. We can do that for next one. Because all of a sudden, as the person who's doing the work, you thought your work was already done, and now you're switching and having to find other information. So,
well, and I mean, I think this is a perfect example that, you know, when we have had those experiences with our own clients, it's a perfect example is what we're talking about. We're so used to doing a lot of this stuff on the fly because we don't know how to kind of put together our own, you know, time blocking or figure out what that would look like. And so we kind of see that happen definitely when we are first working with new clients, and it takes them a little bit to, like, you know, kind of not grasp the concept, but kind of, you know, feel like, oh, okay, so everything's all done.
like it takes them a bit to get in, to relax into that rhythm.
Yeah.
And that's why we do what we do, because it's like, we've got the system, you know, we've got our own batching system for creating strategy for you. We've got our own batching system for doing the implementation. Just follow it and you can relax into it.
Yes. Yeah. And it does, it takes that little bit of time to be like, wow, okay, we're working a month ahead. So that, you know, kind of activates that brain thinking, okay, I really do need to make sure that, you know, I'm not just trying to figure this out a week ahead, because like we said, it takes time. It's a lot of work and it's hard. So you want to make sure that you have that time dedicated to be able to think it through, and not just coming up with random ideas. And you want to make sure that, you know, your marketing is consistent and it's not choppy. And so when you're sitting down and working on those strategy pieces, that's how you can come up with a very consistent and very compelling marketing strategy that you can use across all of your platforms.
And to that point, as far as that consistency, if you're posting on the fly, or just, you know, kind of doing everything on the fly, the strategy on the fly, posting on the fly, you really miss a lot of opportunities. Because what we see happening with a lot of spas when they do that, take that approach to their marketing, they mostly end up having promotional stuff. And like, if you only hear one thing, people do not like to be sold to. They love to buy, but they hate being sold to. So if you're constantly, all your posts are just like, book now, buy now, head to our e-commerce shop, buy this, you're losing a huge opportunity of building relationships and trust. And that, you know, even just that one little piece of depending too much on promotions because you don't know what else to post, it can start the whole marketing circling the drain in terms of your ROI.
Well, and I think a lot of people feel that when we say promotional type of content, that doesn't mean that promotion that it's being discounted. It just means that, you know, you've got a good balance of, you know, your promotional content that absolutely that you want to share because you are in business and you want people to book.
So, yeah, just to clarify, when we're talking about promotional content, we're talking about like a service that you're featuring or products that you're featuring, and definitely they don't have to be on sale or discounted or value added, or it's just a feature that you always want to have like promotional posts in there that have a very specific call to action of book now, buy now. The rest of the posts should not have that book now, buy now on there.
No. So it's important to have that good balance of educational posts, because that's going to help to, let your followers know who you are, who you serve, what you do, and why you're different and why you stand out from everybody. And it, we've talked about this before, just that education piece, it helps people move them forward into making a decision to purchase from you, because now they're seeing, okay, they're experts in this. They know what they're talking about. I haven't been able to find a solution to acne, let's say, but I'm reading all of these educational posts and it's making sense. So next time they see a promotional post, whether it be book now or buy now, here's our, our new acne system or whatever it may be that your spa is offering, then they've had that education piece to it. They're more inclined to buy because now they've learned a little bit more about your company. So having those balances, education, promotion, like we talked, and then having some just light engagement type of content. And so those can be, funny quotes. What else do we've got? Engagement, like you're asking clients to comment, share, that kind of stuff. You're getting them involved.
Maybe you've taken a picture of your bathroom counter with your skincare products, and the question is, hey, what are your faves? What's in your bathroom cabinet? That would be like a type of engagement post.
Exactly. Yep. So the next piece is, if you are doing those promotions, do they make sense? So, this we can talk about, like if you are putting on a promotion, do they make sense? Are they strategic? Are they last minute? Like we said, we know that last minute tends to not net the same sales results because you haven't had the time to really think through, how that's going to work, what your clients, might feel about it. And so are they making sense? Are they making sense for the time of year? Mm-hmm. Are they making sense? Like if it's summertime and you're promoting something that people are already going to be coming in for, that might not be the best promotion to talk about.
Well, the same thing, like, as far as making sure your posts, and we're not just talking about social media, we're talking about email marketing, blogging, your website, all that kind of stuff, paid ads. When you're not batching your content all at once for the month, it's really easy to create posts that the dots aren't really connecting for the consumer. Like they're like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And so when you batch your content and you've put together a series of social media posts or in your email marketing, talking points, when you do it all at once, you can make sure everything is making sense and that there's some cohesiveness to the actual educational pieces that you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I guess the next part that we go into is,
and we're still on strategy.
We're still talking about strategy. So the next part of that strategy. So once you've kind of given yourself, a bit of time to think about what you need to do to get ready for your strategy, the next part is to book time. So book out some time. We know that, 2 brains or more brains are better than one. So often, spa owners, especially, we just do. And sometimes it's hard to tap into other people, but use what you have. So if you have team members or if you have an SD bestie, it's really good to sit down and brainstorm some of your ideas. Because what happens is, and Kirsten and I do this all the time, because when we talk about it, when we talk it out, then you can start seeing the gaps and opportunities that you may be missing in your ideas. And so what that will help you do is just create better consistency in your messaging. So work with somebody that you feel would
trust.
Yeah, if you would trust, that you've got you can bounce ideas off, and they're going to be, honest with you and say, no, I don't really think that would be a good idea. Or, you can piggyback on each other as well. So
yeah, and this is a perfect job for your spa manager. For those of you that have spa managers or lead estheticians, is to be strategizing with you. They absolutely should be part of this because they're the intermediary between, actual hands-on service and the business. So, Delia and I, like it helps so much to have somebody to bounce these, ideas off of in a strategy session, because we do find sometimes we're like, whoa, hold up here. something isn't going to make sense here as we kind of go through, whether we're thinking about the client, the guest experience, or, whether we're looking at doing a contest for one of our clients, as we talk it out, we realize like, oh, wait, that totally doesn't make sense. Or, oh, wait, we've got some limitations there that we didn't actually think about, or I didn't think about until I was talking to you.
Yeah. And, oftentimes when we're in it, Kristen talks a lot about, that kind of hummingbird view versus the Hawkeye view. So when you're in it, it's harder to see kind of the bigger view of it. So having somebody else there to come in and have that second set of eyes is definitely really helpful. And I mean, Kristen will, hey, I just wrote out this, doc, can you go in and look at it? And yeah, I mean, there's things where, Kirsten knows what she's talking about, what she's doing, but it doesn't matter. It's still somebody else comes in with fresh eyes and has a look. And then even if we are stuck on things, I'll say, oh, I'm having a hard time, figuring out the right messaging. And then we hop on a call real quick and, kind of hash it out a little bit. And so it just makes it easier and you have that partnership, right? So you feel like you're doing it with somebody. So you're not alone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Delia and I have mostly talked about the strategy part of your 12-month marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Because we want to help you set yourself up for success. We want to help you develop healthy expectations of what you should or could be doing with your business to make it a lot easier.
Yeah. Definitely.
Now, this the last piece in terms of strategy that we want to recommend, and this is more like another little action step for you. Mm-hmm. When you are creating your monthly marketing strategy, do it a month ahead. Like, I don't mean like we're at mid-January right now, and I'm seeing a lot of spa owners asking what they should do for their February Valentine's promotion. And quite frankly, it's a little too late. Mm-hmm. It's not enough time to plan this all, hash out your idea and then implement all your posts and your email and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So if you are wanting to batch out your strategy, do it for March. Okay. So in beginning of February, start working on your March content so that everything is done. Like for our clients, we lock everything in by the 25th of the month. No changes. Everything's been reviewed twice, approved by the client, and there's no surprise. Everything's scheduled and ready to go. Yeah. So that we're actually working, like beginning of March, we start working on April's content for clients. So we would really, really encourage you to start working in that format. Mm-hmm. The second piece of this, another action step, is to create a running document. We love Google Documents because you can share them. So if you're working with an SD bestie or your spa manager, you can both work on the document at the same time, not have to be at the spa. But have a running tally of your monthly strategy. This is what we do with our clients. It makes it so much easier. So, as of today, open up a Google Doc and start March 2022, social media, educational posts, 4 educational posts. What are those going to be about, each one? 4 promotional posts. What are those going to be about? 4 engagement posts. What are those going to be about? You now have your strategy for March ready to go, and just needs to make captions, hashtags, all that stuff as far as the implementation part.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, so let's move on to phase 2, which is implementation. Mm-hmm. Now, I definitely recommend that you book different days for strategy and then book different days for implementation. This is about those expectation management, right? Like a lot of times owners are like, oh, I'm not a good business owner, because they expect that they should just be able to sit down, create the strategy, do all the implementation, create the posts in one sitting, and that makes a good business owner. That's the crazy making part. So, this is about making sure you save your sanity and still be able to get your client attraction. So book strategy and implementation on different days. And when it comes to implementation, you're likely going to have to book multiple days if you have multiple platforms that you are working on. So one day for hashing out your social media feed design, captions, hashtags, what else is in there? Stories and planning. So what you do, Delia, with our team members is you guys create the stories and then upload them when they're ready to go. on,
Yep,
on
we
that
do.
day?
So everything, so feed design, captions, hashtags, all of that is done. Like I said, ahead of the month. It's all locked in. All the stories are created. We use, different apps for some of them for better design, and they all get loaded into our scheduling platform. And so that's another piece to this is, especially for social media, and when you're scheduling, it's really easy to pop them into a scheduling platform. We use Later. We love it. It's got lots of different features, best times to post, etc. If you're on a paid version, it's not really expensive.
No.
There are free versions of it as well, so you don't have to have the paid version in order for it to work, but it allows you to batch everything out. You pop everything onto your calendar. You can see what your feed's going to look like. Sorry, I've got some notifications happening here.
Yeah, so essentially, like Later,
yeah.
So Later sends us notifications when something's being posted. So all our social media managers have to do is to actually just check to make sure that it was posted properly.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So, okay, so that's for social media. Then you'll need a separate day to batch out your implementation for your email. So that is writing out your copy, finding the image, sourcing the images that you want to use in there, designing it in the email platform. So just like quick tip, we actually write out our email copy in the Google Doc so that we can make edits on it easier. And then it's just a copy and paste into whatever platform they're using, MailChimp, Constant Contact, any one of those. And then of course, testing. You have to make sure you test the emails before you send them out.
Test your links, because if you have those call to action buttons where you want people to purchase or buy and it's not, the link is incorrect or it's missing, then if you will,
kind of sending out another email with a oops, forgot the links, which happened.
Yeah, you can send it another one. It does happen, but that's the testing phase. You just want to make sure that everything's hooked up, connected, and that they can actually click on the links that you have on there.
And then if you are blogging, those actions, again, that would be another day. So those actions would be, writing your copy, sourcing images that you went in there, making sure it's SEO optimized. Like, don't blog and not SEO optimize it. That's kind of the whole reason why you want to blog. So make sure it's SEO optimized, making sure that there's backlinks in there to products in your shop, to other blogs that you've written. Then you have to upload it and schedule it. And of course, have a plan for sharing your blog. And then finally, the last platform that most are kind of working on in their marketing is your website and e-commerce shop. And when you're batching out that part of your marketing, it's, again, sourcing images, making sure you've written down and have the promotion correct, the pricing is correct, and if you're doing any coupon codes, that you've made the coupon code. And of course, all of this kind of weaves into all of the other things like social media and email and blogging.
Yeah. So when we're talking about, we've talked about the social media and the feed design and the captions, and then the email and what would be involved in all of that, we're repurposing all the content. So, and that's what we're talking about by having that cohesive strategy, so that you don't have different things going on different platforms that's confusing the messaging that you're trying to send out, right?
Yeah. So essentially, once you've done your monthly strategy, all documented in a Google Doc, use that for all your other marketing, social media, email, blog, website. Don't reinvent the wheel in terms of different content on different platforms. That's like, you're actually making it a lot harder for yourself. I know that some spa owners have mistakenly thought that they have to create different content on different platforms. When you look at marketing in general, not just spa marketing, it's so repetitive, but that's purposeful, because in terms of like the psychology of the consumer, they have to keep seeing it over and over and over. I think it's like anywhere from like 7 or 9 to 15 times somebody has to see something before they're like, oh, that's for me.
Yeah. I think we even had one client say that she didn't want to, keep repeating the same products over and over again, but that's what works, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're not doing the same product every single month, but it's okay to keep talking about what you offer and what you have to
same month, but just different places where you're talking about it.
Well, and you can come at it in different angles, right? So you don't have to repeat the same type of messaging. Yes, if you have a product, let's say it has a purpose and what it's going to solve, but you can come at it in different ways, so that content's not repetitive, but it's still keeping that message
same. Yeah, like just kind of zhuzh up some of your wording in your copy. But even then, you don't have to. Like, you can still use captions from social media as part of your email marketing, you know, in your email marketing or your blog. Maybe it's a little bit more expanded.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't want you to, because that's what makes it crazy making.
And even when we're doing stories, and you can do this with reels as well, we actually will take some of that social media copy, and it's more like really pared down bullet points because it's a story, but we take some of those key marketing messages in there. And so we don't have to come up with more content to come up with more copy, right? We've already got it. It just might need to be, judged and repositioned a little bit more to go on to a story, but we're repurposing everything that we have. We're not reinventing or rewriting. Yeah.
And that's, what we said earlier in the podcast today, that is the consistency in marketing.
Yeah.
It's, owners may think that it's like too much, but trust us, it's not. That is the essence of marketing, is that kind of over and over messaging, but consistent.
Yeah. Because, well, I was going to say, because you have to remember, not everybody is going to see everything every single time you put it out there. So.
Absolutely. All right. So we want to leave you with some action steps to make this a very practical podcast for you. So now is the time to time block your monthly marketing tasks. All right. I know this is sometimes hard as an owner if you're not used to keeping your time more organized. This is a entrepreneurial habit that will serve you very, very well. And in this case, for your marketing. All right. So,
I just wanted to say that, a lot of owners, myself included, when I was there, it's like, I'm so busy. But when you do this for your business, it will help you become less busy. Yeah.
So block out your strategy time, then block out your different implementation time for each one. Put it in your calendar so that you can't get booked. Put a notification on it so you don't miss it, so that it actually gets done. And then, of course, if you have team members that it's appropriate to invite them into this, this part of your business, then invite them in. I wouldn't invite all the team members in, because then you got too many cooks in the kitchen. It's, one person that you trust, that has an aptitude, that's hungry to be a part of the marketing team. If they're not interested, it's like pulling teeth from a chicken. Like, don't bother. It's not worth it.
For effort, probably.
Yeah. And really, even use that other team member to review the end stuff, like to catch grammatical or formatting errors, or just to make sure that, your copy is connecting the dots in terms of what you're trying to explain. And then always work a month in advance. So blocking time now will be for your March social media, or so your March digital marketing. All right. So if all of this still really overwhelms you, which for most owners it does, and you want to outsource this, then that's what we do. Half of Kirsten Foss Coaching is the sister company is Virtual Spa Business Management, where we offer done for you digital marketing services and other projects like lead magnets and that kind of thing. So if you're wanting to outsource it and you want to talk to us about what that looks like, then absolutely do that. You can go to my website, kirstenfoss.com, head over to the digital marketing page, and there is a little form there to fill out, and just gives me a little bit more information about you. And then you'll be emailed information about how our digital marketing services work and what to expect. And then you can book a call from there. All right. Thanks for joining us again, Delia, for this month's Spa Marketing with Delia. And I guess next time we will see you is in February.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much for joining us for Spa Business Mastery Podcast. If you would like to be part of our Spa Business Mastery Facebook group, absolutely head over to Facebook and ask to join. And there's all sorts of peer support in there, as well as support from me. So we'll see you soon.